Alright, take three. We've messed up 2 recordings so far, then ain't that just the way?
Third time's the charm.
Third time is the charm, so we're gonna start with you.
Third time is the charm. I'm Trey Stone. I guess you could call me an amateur philosopher. I don't know. That's what I said in the second take, so.
Alright, your turn.
My name's Chase. I told Trey earlier that I would be giving... I'm actually a co-host, by the way. I told Trey earlier that there would be cookies here, and there weren't any cookies. That's my bad. Sorry, Trey. But, I really did think there was going to be cookies, so I did not mean to mislead him in that way.
I'm Townsend. I am a philosophy major.
Yeah.
Single-handedly more qualified than the cumulative.
Alright. I'm Evan. I'm extremely hungry and I'm spending absurd time on Wikipedia.
Thank you, Evan. And all you said in the last take, you said he was a very big nihilist and didn't care if someone kicks his dog that he didn't have. So we're moving on to the next person.
Riley Simmons, Duke University. Co-host.
Hi, I'm Riley Stanton. I'm also co-host of this podcast. I was voted the world's
rap battler.
Yeah, world's best rap battler. Murray's leading source of crack addiction and an aspiring existentialist.
Do I even need to introduce myself? Probably not. Let's just keep it. I'm Matt W. Standard Matt W. Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm basically the owner of this channel. Whatever, you get the process. Yeah, I own all of you. That actually sounds pretty bad.
Women are bad.
Every take he's gonna work it in.
He said this for 3 different takes, bro. And I don't catch it any other of the time.
We need one of those things that comes on before those things that come on before controversial TV shows. It's like The Views and what does it say? It's like the following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the Philosacast podcast.
Philosacast does not condone misogyny.
Well,
Evan, shut up. Anyways, before we realize we're having technical difficulties, we're basically talking about the human perception of good and evil and how it comes about, and it's how it fits in. So if anybody wants to, we'll go back to Evan, pick that back up. What do you think?
I can't wait. So, all right, for the last and hopefully last take.
Maybe we should just talk about a different topic.
They just don't want to hear this.
Maybe it just wasn't meant to
I
be.
can spend a different life, seeing as you own us. Is it inherently good that we put ownership on items in modern society?
Ooh.
Yes, because I love money.
That's a good question.
Should everybody own? Is the world for everyone's taking, or should it be for people that are ascribed or achieve a certain status?
Ideally, I think it should be based off of reward for hard work or labor.
The only problem I see with that is that's extremely exploitable.
Yeah.
Because you can just be like, no, I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
And just give them all the shit you want, and that's not. I mean, that's also kind of realistic. I feel like.
Also
realistic and displaying the evil nature
But how
of humans.
else would you do it? Because there's always going to be a struggle of resources somewhere.
Yeah.
There's
There's just not
resources.
enough.
There's resources to allocate, no matter what system. It's all about the means to the end. I guess you could say.
You think the reason we all kind of ascribe to that is because of the fact that all humans are selfish in some form or way?
Oh, I think everyone does have some sort of selfishness within them. Mm-hmm. I think some people are better at either dealing with it or hiding it than other people are.
Yeah. So do you think there's actually true selflessness in somebody's action?
We talked about this on
there
one
can
episode.
be.
Can there be?
I believe
describe a situation, a scenario, if you will, hypothetically, where it's true selflessness.
I can tell
He's
you.
literally just
I actually have a very good. Actually, I don't know.
No,
if
go
that's
ahead
an
and speak on it, and then we can.
Dying for your pregnant wife.
Dying for your pregnant wife.
Okay.
Is it selfish because you escape the obligations of...
No, okay, so this is...
Is it selfless because you're saving your wife and your child?
But then you have them being raised in a
But
parentless. I can't say fatherless.
is that better than not living at all?
It can be.
And you could also have the subconscious desire to be seen as honorable.
But like
You're gonna die. You're gonna die.
But you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, but some people really care about the
Yeah.
Now, a better
I'd say that is. I'd
life
say
after.
that's as selfless as you're gonna get. But to that point, if you believe that the entire purpose of humanity or like of a person is to reproduce, then you're ensuring that your kid is going to be there. So while you're dead, your genes are still passing through.
yeah, which is but that's if you.
That's a good point, and you would think like because this is an interesting thing I've thought about, just like related to suicide, death, things like that. Like,
Interesting.
there's one thing that's organisms have like an innate desire. I'm not an expert in biology by any means, but
you don't even need a preface. That's none of us are experts.
organisms have like a innate desire to not die. So you kind of have to like think about like willingly dying. If one could argue something is totally selfless, I feel like willingly dying for any reason would maybe be like not like
So we're
willingly dying for a positive reason. I think would have to be up there. I'm saying if one could even make the argument for something that was truly selfless.
So we're going down like the route dying for a cause.
Yeah. Not saying like not advocating that it's a good thing. I'm just saying like if someone was going to argue this act is truly selfless, barring any motivation. I think something like willingly dying that goes against like root biological urges would have to be like at least thought about.
Well, let me
Jesus.
let me give you this thought experiment here. Let's say you have a choice to die for your family or they all die. And let's say if you die for your family, they're not going to remember you. All right, so you won't get that emotional satisfaction of, oh, they'll think of me as a hero. Let's just say nobody will remember your deed, your virtuous deed or whatever.
Yeah.
Would you still do it?
Well, I think I would. I think I would still.
I probably would.
And that I feel like that's my argument for there is selflessness.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be gaining anything. You're only going to be losing.
But would you do it because you feel bad
Well,
if you made the other choice?
Yeah.
Which
This is a
would
trolley
be selfish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, does selfishness even make you a bad person at the end of the day? Like, let's think about that as well.
Well, we were talking about motivations.
There's
No.
I think.
Yeah, I think
It's not a sliding scale, but there are certain gray areas I'm
Yeah.
forward with it for sure.
Right.
yeah, there's like a spectrum.
Yeah.
I guess would maybe be a good
for
yeah.
sure. Put it there.
Maybe like a 3D plane spectrum.
Yeah.
It's not just black and
It's not
white.
on a line where you can
Apple
split
or
it.
orange,
Everybody is
yeah.
just everywhere at the once. Now, to put this bluntly, you said family, right?
Yeah.
What family are we talking about? Are we talking about nuclear family, or are we just talking about family in general? Because if you say family, that correlates to anybody that you're related to.
Well, let's just say family that you. Let's say like your just internal family. Let's for the sake of the argument. For the sake of the argument, you're on good terms with your immediate family as well. Let's not say like you hate them.
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
that thing.
Yeah.
Just like let's just put it together like you have a good family base.
So you're putting basically the trolley problem in a different sense with a family, where it's either you kill one person yourself or you kill multiple people your family.
Yeah.
In a sense, I think I'd probably just roll with with killing my family. If I'm being honest, they're kind of old. if I'm being honest, I mean,
I'd kill your mom too. I don't like
No, you
mothers.
wouldn't.
I'm just kidding.
God forbid someone watches this.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I mean, this dude just now.
That's a good question. Do any of our parents watch this?
No,
My mom said she does not have the patience to watch an hour of this, so we're in the clear.
I think the only
No, this
family-
podcast is on an obscure channel. So.
I think the
You
only
got
family member I'd hesitate on is my sister and brother-in-law that has a kid, like my nephew. Other than that, because he has his whole life ahead of him. I mean, I feel like the others kind of already have experienced life and are going through their downfall stages. So I mean, and more or less, I'm trying to help them out, and then I can live my life because that's what they would in general they'd want.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting thing because we haven't talked about this from the perspective of the family member. Really, like if you died for them, if that could create like a whole level of guilt and
Oh, dude,
stuff.
my mom would kill herself.
Exactly. So like what do they call that? Survivor's guilt, I
Yeah.
think, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Goodbye, boy.
Bye.
I'm sorry.
I never really thought about that in this context, but that's hard because there's no way to measure that.
Well, we already established that they wouldn't remember you, so they probably wouldn't experience survivor's guilt anyway.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Remember.
Oh, okay. So your
They will
family,
not remember your deed.
Yeah.
They'll basically not remember.
your
They
family
got-
wouldn't. Your
they
family
got
wouldn't
some
even
stuff.
know about your deed.
Yep.
Yeah.
You will not be known for your deed, and nobody will know. Nobody will know.
They wouldn't know that you're dead, or that you
Yeah, 'cause
died,
like-
so your
like-
family lived. Because I feel like it's very hard to cover up the fact that you kind of just died.
Yeah.
Well, no,
'Cause even if you
they'll
just
know that.
Be surprised.
Well,
People just fucking disappear.
yeah,
Like, that just happens.
Yeah.
truly.
Well, no, your family will know that you died, but they won't think of you as virtuous in any sense of the way.
They'll just think of it as like an accident.
They'll just think,
Yeah,
oh,
so
that
I
just
guess
happened.
survivor's
basically.
guilt wouldn't apply here.
Yes,
Then.
survivor's
Okay,
guilt
I
wouldn't
forgot about that
That
we had talked about.
qualifier.
Yeah, that qualifier.
That qualifier makes it do just, huh?
Well, I'm just playing a thought experiment right here,
Right.
just to see,
Just to see. if
just to
you
see
die.
what like our logical brain would like come up with. Because let's say because you can make the argument, oh, you'll just get the satisfaction of saving your family even though you'll be dead, which doesn't make sense, or oh, you'll be given the satisfaction to other people. But
Well,
let's say
I don't think you're pitting it against death. I think you're pitting it against going on living with the fact that you are a bad person, which is worse than death.
I mean, not necessarily. in some
I think
ways.
personally.
Some people just accept they're bad people and move on with their day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
politicians, are we not
Like-
why are we pointing at them? Because they're the exact people
Yeah,
we're
but-
talking about.
Yeah.
Probably, they know they do bad things, but they don't care. Nothing's applying to them at the end of the day.
Fucking
So am I the only one that kill their family and let myself live out of this group? Am I the only one that'd be on that side?
It's
Well,
really hard for me to answer that question.
Yeah, it's a really
No,
interesting.
I would rather die than.
I think in your situation, I would probably pick me dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you
But-
have like a lot of like
But
younger
yeah,
siblings.
with my situation where I have a dying father and a mother that is kind of going into a downward spiral,
Right.
I think the only person I'd even have like a hesitation on is my like sister who's just now starting her like adult life with her like kid and everything.
Yeah.
That kind of brings up an interesting like different topic. Like, how much do we value human life?
I think that's like kind of the root of all things in a way.
Right.
Because like that's a lot of questions in society of how much do we value human life. Let's not even talk about modern day politics. Let's talk about, oh, this came from a sweatshop. That's awful. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was a human life that had to go through that horrid conditions. Or we sent those children to the coal mines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just different things like that. It's more like how much do we value human life in certain things, which I think that's how we scale most of what we believe on, to be honest.
I think
Yeah.
there's also an immediacy factor to it too, because we've dealt with climate change specifically. We've known of its existence since I think the 50s when Exxon found out that was like real, and ever since then we've sort of just been like delaying it, like just putting our gratification.
I'm just gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't care if all of humanity gets wiped out. I feel like we've done so much stupid, evil things. Like it would almost be good. You know what I'm saying? Like we've destroyed our environment around us. We've destroyed our families, our people, like other people that haven't done any wrong to us. Like
But I think that also brings up another question of if we go away. So I forget what exactly that is, but that's the idea of antinatalism. The idea of not having any more kids because existence in itself is painful. Everybody experiences pain and suffering in their life. So to get rid of that suffering, you would choose to basically be abstinent or not have kids. And that choice is something that can either be like very gratifying towards certain people, but also like say the human race dies out, do we know for sure there aren't other beings that are going to suffer? Like, do we know that for sure? Because suffering is still just going to exist, whether or not it's
suffering is based on what we think. That's literally what it is. Suffering is like when we correlated an emotion or a feeling to a word. Like animals don't think, oh man, I'm going to have a lot of suffering today as I walk around these parts. No, they just go off of instinct.
But would you say you're suffering if you're like dying from a fatal wound?
Well, of course, because you're in
So then
constant
suffering
pain.
does exist.
Well, no, I didn't say suffering didn't. I say we put of how we feel to a certain emotion or a certain feeling, and that's what we perceive
So
as
it's more
suffering.
of a classification of certain
Well, yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Okay, so say we have that classification of suffering, and we know these certain things are it, and every animal experiences it of some kind or another, whether or not the severity, in its lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
If we know for sure that another organism is going to come up and like evolve and stuff and also suffer, does eradicating our existence stop suffering anymore? Or is
Well,
that
the main thing is not to stop suffering. It's to understand what we've destroyed in our own environment.
Oh shit! So then, that brings up the question. It's like an extended version of: would you kill yourself for for your family, or
Yeah,
vice
it's
versa?
that
Would
that
you-
value of how much value do I bring into the world doing this, more or less.
So if humanity has done bad things, like let's say climate change and killing each other,
we could
basically,
talk about like genocides and just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
all down the list
Yeah.
of just
But would-
destruction.
But would you kill off humanity in order to have a less suffering in the world total? Like what happens if
Yeah.
you kill all humanity? Because then the question also goes out the window.
Well, I wouldn't say let's just kill off all humanity.
Well, no,
let's-
but this is like the same
Well,
thought
they should
experiment.
The only way we're going to get
Yeah,
rid of
just
suffering.
Because we are being selfish by constantly taking from our environment and all
I
that
think
stuff.
we need to go down about 1 billion people personally.
That would fix it. Then we would be good. Like everybody.
We'll be back up. We'll be back up to that. in 2 years.
I say we start with K-pop fans.
Hey, let's go.
I think really
That is the call I can get behind.
Thank you.
I think
There's my one comment for the episode. Shut up for the rest.
I think the bigger dilemma here is the entire thought process of not in my lifetime. You ever heard that thought?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of thought. I feel like that's a definitely huge component in this entire argument. It's like
It's
wow,
the immediacy factor.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we just have a terrible thing with immediacy.
it's the selfishness of whether or not we profit or if we suffer.
Okay, so humans are the most selfish things on the planet.
Yeah.
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
Yeah, because there are some things.
No,
there are some
no.
things that like
Like a koala.
Okay, please do explain, Chase.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Chase. Yeah.
The reason why I acted so aggressively against that notion is that humans are the only things that are capable, well, not the only things, but they're some of the only creatures that are even capable of wanting to do the opposite
Yeah.
yeah,
of
empathy.
self-interest. They're the
Yeah.
only ones that
Yes.
are capable of projecting care onto other things, even non-humans.
Yeah.
Like we have laws that regulate the environment, even though they're not followed always to the best of our abilities. And then we take care of injured animals. Sometimes we have animal rehabilitation centers. Yeah, sometimes. But you get
Depends if you're PETA or not.
if a lion finds a gazelle that's injured, it's not going to help it.
Yeah, it's going to eat that guy.
It's
'cause
gonna
wants
kill
the
it.
food,
What are you
yeah.
talking about, bro? Did you not watch The Lion King?
Dude, come on, bro. Simba, dude.
Hakuna Matata, my guy.
Dude, like,
Fake news, misinformation. Blame Disney.
If a fox finds a baby possum, what's it gonna do?
They're just gonna chill. Maybe smoke a joint.
It's gonna kill it.
I didn't know you were chill
So,
like that.
I'm going
But
to dives with the
in-
possum.
in the same scenario, if a man may find a gazelle that's injured and might try to help it, the guy might try to help the gazelle, right?
Yeah.
And if a person found like a baby possum that had been separated from its mother, they might try to help it.
Some people just shoot it, but there's difference.
Yeah, some people would shoot it. That's true.
Yeah.
But they still have
Get
the
off my damn
capacity to
lawn.
make that decision.
Yeah.
Animals don't. As you said, they operate purely off of instinct.
And I feel like that's the strength of humanity is like our logical inferences on what knowing to do, even if we don't want to do it, even if it violates us. And yeah, I feel like humans are selfish in some ways, but they aren't the most selfish creatures that can be, because we make efforts to at least help.
We have the conscience to be able.
We have the ability of
It's
choice.
just that it's a very, very difficult thing to do.
Yeah. Which gives us the capacity to be evil. Gives us we are the only people who can be not selfish, that can make the conscious choice to do that. So we're the only people that We're the only beings on Earth that can be.
And that point is interesting because we could say humans are the most evil thing because we have the choice to be evil. We're the only one with the choice to be evil. So
it's like I was thinking about that. It's like we shouldn't even compare ourselves to things that can't be like.
Yeah, because
if you don't have the choice to be, if you don't have the choice whether you're selfish or not, you can't blame me for being selfish. So it's like the very few things that do have the capacity to be selfish or not selfish. That's like it almost makes us more evil that we're evil sometimes even when we know it's the wrong thing to do.
It's a paradox.
Yeah.
humans are the good and the evil on this planet.
But that's just because we exist.
Because we're the only ones that have.
We are the only ones that can be good or evil. So we like.
I'll put it like this, right? Imagine like a bear like fights another bear, and that bear kills the bear, but they're just fighting for territory. They don't know good or bad.
Yeah, they don't know good or
But
bad. They're doing what they're
human kills another human.
Bears are very
Territory.
Yeah, for I don't know how a human would kill another human for territory.
They're not just like,
Oh,
no.
Get off my lawn!
Or kills a mule man.
that's have the ability to like me and you were saying. I think it's similar to like dogs in the sense of like how they don't think of it as a similar way of like we do. Where if I were to kill somebody, I'd be like, they have a family, they have like parents. Dogs and bears, for instance, are just kind of like that might kill another bear, but because X, Y, Z, like whatever else, it doesn't.
It's just their instinct for this.
Yeah,
It's not
but
really
they're still
instinct.
aware that they
Needs.
kill another being.
Yeah.
But does that bring up a completely different thing? Like, do other beings feel sympathy in the same way?
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's.
No.
I'm sure
I mean,
that there are like examples.
Something that seems.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I think elephants actually.
Dogs
Don't
feel sympathy
yeah,
for
elephants
sick
do.
owners.
They do. They bury their dead.
Domesticated
Yeah.
dogs
Bury.
feel bad
They,
for
like,
their
put, like,
owners if they
Yeah, that's
say
true. That is true as well.
That is true.
And they mourn for them and stuff.
But that may just be like the instinct of lawn evolution being developed.
Yeah.
I think an interesting thing with like this entire instinct topic is like primal urges. What makes a predator a predator? Like what made them want to go after their prey?
their capacity.
Man, we'll have to go all the way back to the beginning.
I don't think there's a specific motive. I think it's the same thing we were talking about earlier of the thing of I have to live,
Yeah.
and in order to live, I have to do whatever is necessary.
So can we classify necessary actions as evil?
That's a
The whole like necessary.
Well, not necessarily, but like.
necessary actions might necessarily be evil.
But some necessary actions, I guess, can be evil, but not all necessary actions are evil. If that makes sense.
Well, like some people's definitions of necessary are different. Hitler thought it was necessary to kill everybody for the German race, and we know he's objectively wrong.
Yeah.
So what is your necessary? Is it like to keep your?
I'm
sustain
talking
life?
about
Like-
just the minimum to sustain life itself, and I feel like
I mean,
that
was-
really
that was
can't.
a very like obtuse and weird
Yeah,
example.
The
but
third, right.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Third Reich. Okay.
That's next week, everybody.
No.
The Trey Stone solo episode.
We're actually
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Oh my God. Dear Lord. But anyway.
Hey,
What
just
happened-
25
what happened to-
minutes this time to devolve to that point.
What happened?
Hey, better less progress.
What happened to the fourth and fifth?
Yeah, Chase, what
Rights.
happened?
Are they just
So,
not as famous?
They
It was a civil war.
they were
Versus the fourth versus
in West Germany.
the fourth versus the fifth. They're just fighting.
Actually, the Fourth Reich is technically a thing with like neo-Nazism and
Yeah, but
It's truck guys.
they're just they're just fanboys.
They just beat
They're
the
just
box
fans.
and shitties.
They're just like K-pop stands and stuff.
they want to be him so bad. They want to be
John
so
Coop.
He want to be Hitler so bad.
That's Heisenberg.
It's literally Heisenberg.
You know what? We're gonna take an intermission, and I want Chase to sing this song.
Let's go. I'm gonna see if I can lay down a drum beat.
Just don't be too
Illusion.
You start singing.
That's the point.
Hey, Riley, don't be too loud on the drums though.
I got you, yeah. Because they're all upstairs.
No, because
There's one
Oh,
here,
yeah, it'll
so
drown
we
out
wanna
the
hear
scene.
Chase.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Never
These are a bunch of fuzz. Just like
we have it.
Yeah, anybody who was here for the jam session last night knows the drums were very loud compared to everything else.
You can't hear anything. You can't even hear my thoughts on the drums are playing.
Wait, are you singing the first song? Like
Yeah.
the one you said? Okay, let's go.
I'm singing
And dum dum dum.
I'm sorry to anyone listening on headphones.
ear rape.
Shh. Oh, I'm sorry.
When I listen to this later and I forget that that's in there.
Alright, take it away.
I was walking down First Street with my thumbs in my pockets, mind forgotten dreams. When I saw you on the corner, I knew our love border, happiness is hey, 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 yeah, 'cause you made it better. We were both together, and I can't help but feel how I feel. You took me in and used me, and surely abused me, and wrecked my heart more than I'd ever dreamed. Yeah. And then I saw you walking with a guy on the street. I saw you with my own two eyes. It really was a big surprise. Never thought you'd do it. I guess I thought you couldn't be through. Hey, yeah, 'cause you made it better when we were both together. And I can't help but feel how I feel. You took me in and used me, and surely abused me, and wrecked my heart more than I'd ever dreamed. Yeah. And that's not the worst of it. I just can't figure out why you'd ever want to leave. So I just kept walking. It's no bother talking. And now I'm on the corner of 2nd Street in misery. Hey, yeah, 'cause you made it better when we were both together. And I can't help but feel how I feel. You took me in and used me, and surely abused me, and wrecked my heart more than I have ever dreamed. Yeah. More than I've ever dreamed. Yeah. More than I've ever dreamed.
You're singing a melody of one headlight, as that I just
It is the
realized.
melody of one headline, bro. I was thinking that.
But like fast. Oh, I never even realized.
Hey, come now, little. Nothing is real. Yeah, it's that kind of whole thing going
Yeah,
on.
I'm glad you noticed that. I thought I was the only one thinking.
When I hit that hey, I'm like, wait a minute.
I might have plagiarized the melody.
Inspiration.
Now I get a copyright claim.
I would actually think. I think it has to be much more.
Was that the
simple than
outro?
Just the melody, though.
I don't know. I'm sure. Should this be the outro? It'd be a shorter podcast today, 28 minutes, but it's chill.
That's okay.
That's alright.
I fuck with that.
Alright, well, it's been an honor, fellas. It was a good episode. Okay, but I guess
Philosophy has no conclusion.
I mean,
no
we
context.
can try and figure it out into different sects and say, like, what we think.
What?
That's a great outro right there. Please.
The conclusion was
We can all have sex, and then we'll just...
No!
It's not gay.
Wait, no, not yet, actually. Okay, for the next episode, though, I want to talk about conspiracy theories for the next episode.
Okay, cool.
And we've like pitch our own and like build off.
Like get our own.
Yeah, or just like research if you don't have one or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I want to get some wacky shit on the podcast. For
Not
this
just like
episode.
the ones that a lot of people know about.
Well, I want to do Hollow Earth theory because I think that shit's crazy. So like, just different ones like that.
All right.
Or if you got your own, bring it. You know what I'm saying?
So
I
it's
can
gonna
give
be-
you some.
It's
some
gonna be
good
less
flatter.
philosophy centered.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit goofy.
That'd be fun then.
Do we want to pick one and defend it?
Sure. I mean, you could try.
Everybody pick one.
I feel like we should just let the
life-changing
conversation flow.
I pick
Okay. Is it flat Earth?
Velociraptor Earth theory.
Philosophers. I feel like for Halloween we should like I don't know, tell horror stories or something.
Okay.
But anyway,
It's like
I'm gonna get. I guess we're just gonna wrap this up. It's been an honor, fellas.
Oh, I didn't realize we were still talking.
You guys are having your own side conversation. All right, whatever.
Thank you for watching.
Have a beautiful time.
And listening.
Oh my gosh.